This is the reason why some lost childhood friendships should never be sought for anymore. Brian and Amy were inseparable childhood friends until they went to different high schools and lost touch. 15 years later, Amy became a famous fashion designer in the city, and nothing was heard of Brian. Despite her success, Amy still misses her best friend, Brian, and always looks forward to seeing him one day. Amy got married to Ryan and had 2 amazing kids from the marriage. Everything was going well in Amy's life until the day she received a call from Brian. She was so happy and asked that they meet and see physically. She set the time and venue. On the day they were supposed to meet, Amy was so excited and hurried to the location. She saw Brian and couldn't hide her joy. Brian, on the other hand, was so happy to see her. They ate lunch in a restaurant together while talking about their different experiences in high school. However, Amy noticed that there were inconsistencies in the things Brian had said about their childhood experiences. His story didn't add up. She waved that off due to her excitement and continued the chat. It was time to go home. They left to their different homes, and Amy invited Brian to her fashion office the next day. As they continued to spend more time together, Amy became uncomfortable due to the way and how fast Brian cared to know so much about her present life, especially when he became more interested in her finances, and how his stories were so different from the childhood Brian she knew. Luckily, she ran into a friend, Ariel, who was a classmate to Brian before high school. They exchanged pleasantries and Ariel muttered, "Sorry about the loss, it's such a pity you both never had enough time to spend together." Amy looked at her surprisingly and asked her what she meant by that statement. Ariel replied, "It's about Brian, it's such a pity he didn't get much time. He died in a motor accident last year. So sorry for the loss." Amy was taken aback and confused, especially after Ariel showed her Brian's burial pictures. Has she been talking to a ghost all this while? She was scared for her life and safety, but still mustered the courage to call Brian on the phone. "Who are you?" she asked after Brian answered the call. "I'm your best friend Amy, I'm Brian. Do not lie to me. Are you a ghost?" Amy yelled at the phone. "Okay, you caught me," Brian replied. "Anyway, my name is Ben, I am Brian's younger brother who never lived with him or our parents," he replied. Amy developed a headache. Yes, Brian once told her of his younger sibling, who was so troublesome that their parents had to send him to a family member in another country. "OMG, they do look alike," Amy whispered. "Why are you impersonating Brian? Why did you connect with me, despite not knowing me?" "Ha ha 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 ha," Ben roared out of laughter. "I sure know you, which is why I connected to you. You are a famous designer, so why wouldn't I associate myself with you? What do you want from me?" Amy asked sternly. "Nothing much, just a few $1,000s and a taste of your body." "Ha ha 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 ha," Ben replied. "You are sick," Amy yelled. "Listen carefully, I don't want to ever see you anywhere around me, or my family anymore. We have unfinished business, Mrs. Brian replied, "I have some of your nudes, baby. The ones you shared with your sweet husband while at work." Amy opened her eyes in shock. "Nudes?" "Oh, she remembered when they were having lunch the first day they met and Ben asked to make a call with her phone with the excuse that he had a low battery. Out of excitement, she gave him her phone to make the call, not knowing that he had sent her nudes to his phone. "Please don't do this," Amy pleaded. "I'm sure you are not ready to have a stain on your name." "Oh, your husband is a manager at a big and reputable firm. Who knows how he would feel when he sees his wife's birth body being thrown all over the internet? You wouldn't want that too, baby," Ben said before laughing hysterically. "Oh no, see, I would give you any amount you want, but please do not do this to me." Amy continued to plead. "Not without the body, Angel," Ben said. "I am a married person, I can't do that, please. Try to understand." 3 p.m. tomorrow, Langley Hotel, room 154. "My boys are on surveillance, just in case you try to act funny by informing anyone or the police. Failure to comply and I will let the cat out of the bag," Ben said before ending the call abruptly. Amy felt her world crashing against her. She tried to call his number, but it's no longer reachable. What would you advise her to do in this scenario?